Fat. We're the Phat Peeps.
Hey peeps!
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Phat Peeps podcast. This is the podcast where we get together and talk about video games while making bad jokes. I'm your host, Joey, and I'm here with PJ.
Hello. Trying to think of a
And
bad joke, and I can't. I'm on the spot. Ah.
you don't have to. That's the thing. We make bad jokes while we talk about the topics.
Just the way you said it today cued me to want to say one, but I wasn't inspired enough to think of one, I guess. Sorry.
Well, I'm sure we'll get there because we have a lot of things to talk about.
Oh my god.
Because we are heading into what is like, would you call it like video game Christmas?
Yeah, I was just about to say that actually. That's exactly what it feels like.
Right. It's like the event. It's the time of the year where everybody is super excited because E3 is happening and all the new video games are going to get announced and shown, and there's going to be surprises. There's probably going to be a lot of disappointments, but that's all part of the fun.
Oh, a
right?
whole lot of disappointments. But yeah, exactly. I mean,
And,
hoping for more happiness this year.
And I'm glad that we're starting to kind of get back to normalcy to some extent. So, because I love like the press conferences,
Yeah.
the actual like, you know, developers and like business people out on stage doing their thing. Even the boring parts, because I feel like there's like sometimes gold in there. And you know, it's worth watching a 30-minute Sony presentation or the beginning of a Sony presentation where they're just showing pie charts and graphs for a while.
No, it's
because
like so legit.
they don't do that anymore, obviously.
Yeah,
That's like old school E3. But
dude, you
man,
have no idea. Like every year, I get excited for June, not only because it's my birthday month, but like when E3 hit the first morning, I would always go like get McDonald's like pancake breakfast and then just sit there at 7 a.m. watching like Nintendo and shit like that. So I'm on board with it. Glad it's back.
so let's go ahead and jump into we're gonna like go down the order of press conferences and just riff about like what we hope is there and what we think is going to be there, right? So starting off, and I actually don't have the dates here, but I think I want to say it starts on like the 10th or the 11th.
Somewhere around there.
You can find like every video game website has some schedule up, so you can probably just click on any one of them and find a schedule.
Yeah, guys, we're not
12th.
here for the schedule.
The June 12th is when everything is starting off. Well, like press conference wise, right? I want to say that Jeff Keighley is doing a thing. It's like Summer Games Fest. Is that what that's called? I don't remember. I haven't really been keeping up with it.
I'm gonna say yes.
I want to say that starts on the 10th, and will like lead up to the 12th. And there will be some like announcements there, probably. I would assume so, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there's
check
announcements like throughout this week probably that are gonna lead up to everything. So a lot of hype. It's fantastic. It's a fantastic time for gamers to be alive. All of the month of June and July, hoping for good announcements for Christmas. The actual Christmas, not gamer Christmas.
Well, apparently the rumors are that Elden Ring's going to be at Game Fest, but we'll talk about that later.
Yes.
Let's just start right off with Ubisoft. Right? Is that who we got going first here?
Yep. Ubi. But what are they gonna do?
It's actually Ubi.
No,
it's short for ubiquitous software.
I'm sure it is, but I'm still calling it Ubi because it irritates people, and I like ube because it's really good fruit.
So, what do you think we're gonna see from Ubisoft? Do you think So new Assassin's Creed? Do you think it's time for a new Assassin's Creed already?
Oh God, no! So many. Um, didn't we just get Vikings last year? I feel like it was just last year.
Yeah,
Maybe it
yes.
was. Maybe it was a year and a half ago. I don't know. Sure, man. Like people that like Assassin's Creed, go for it. I tried again with uh watching John play actually, and you guys can see that on the YouTube with obviously with this, and I wasn't impressed. But I heard Vikings was a lot better. Garrick enjoyed it thoroughly. Uh, I'm not gonna play it. I think I'm done with Assassin's Creed. I kind of hung up my cape from that. But I don't know. What about you?
I haven't played an Assassin's Creed in years. I don't think I've played an Assassin's Creed since Assassin's Creed 3
Okay.
because I just got that like burnt me so bad on the franchise
Yeah. It got
that
old.
I I was like, well, and they just like I felt like they threw everything that they had set up in 2 just right in the garbage.
Yep. And I
And I
love the
was
story
like,
for those, and that killed me. So I was like, okay, I guess that's over. And I tried again with I think Brotherhood, and I was like, eh, don't care
yeah,
anymore.
so it basically just like killed all of my like desire to play any games in that series. But I don't know, I'm sure they're like cool now that they've
They're
like
doing
had
better.
time to yeah, they've had time to kind of divorce themselves from that, right? And I've had time to like forget about it.
Nope.
Um
Not enough time.
I don't know though. I
Nothing
don't
to
know.
heal those
Well,
wounds.
because they're not really doing the like yearly Assassin's Creeds anymore,
So we might
right?
skip this year,
So
maybe.
yeah. Um
I don't know. And I know Far Cry 6, obviously. That's what we talked about last time.
right, yeah, there's probably going to be like a more full like actual gameplay demo for Far Cry 6, I would assume.
Yeah, more than
Um
likely. I mean, they've already put out quite a bit for it. I'm
yeah, with those trailers, right?
definitely.
Um so yeah, it would, and considering like the time frame when that's expected to be released, it makes sense that that would be like their big gameplay demo presentation.
They'll tease something
Um,
else, probably. I wouldn't even be surprised if there's another Rayman thing coming on. Or Rabbids.
yeah, I could see that. And there's also the with Ubisoft, they have to like go through the gamut of all their games as a service stuff, right? So we're
Yeah.
probably gonna see Rainbow Six stuff. We're gonna
Hyperscape.
see the well, I don't know about Hyperscape. Uh, they did say that we're gonna see the new like co-op Rainbow Six that I think they previously announced as Rainbow Six Quarantine,
Yeah, that sounds right.
and it now has a new name. They're gonna be showing that off. Uh, there's all those rumors about the new Division. There's like apparently a free-to-play Division offshoot that's like Battle Royale or something like that.
Sounds a
So
little
maybe
weird.
we'll see that. And yeah, back to games as a service, right? You got like uh regular Division 2, not like the new potential thing.
Right.
Um and Ghost Recon is still getting support.
Don't forget
So
Hyperscape.
and don't forget Hyperscape. Um
I tried with that game, man. I really did.
I don't know. I feel like there's probably not going to be very many surprises at Ubisoft
No.
unless like they come out and are like Sam Fisher game. But
Yeah.
I I don't know. I was more hopeful for that a long time ago, and I'm kind of not anymore. I think like that time has passed. It's
Yeah.
like they did so much, or in either that or like it's in such like development hell that maybe we'll see. It's just it's weird how they it feels like they've been teasing a new Splinter Cell for almost like half a decade
Yeah.
through other their other games and crossovers and stuff like that. but they haven't actually announced a new Splinter Cell, so
It's
whatever.
probably
I
just
don't
in
know.
the works, and it keeps getting shelved. My guess.
Yeah. Or yeah, they it keeps getting more and more ambitious, right? And then
Yeah.
they decide to push it to the new consoles.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, well the new consoles didn't sell very well, so maybe we should just keep working on this for a while while the install base gets a little larger."
Or
Who
just
knows?
release it for PC.
All right,
Anywho.
let's move on to Gearbox.
Yeah.
What I don't know. So Gearbox
Uh,
Borderlands.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Another
Um,
Borderlands maybe spin-off
what
type of thing.
I need to look this up because like, what does Gearbox
Besides that,
even beside? Well, like that's what they have, right?
yeah.
They're like, I mean, they have some other properties, right? Like the Brothers in Arms is them as well.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll see the comeback of Battleborn.
maybe.
No, probably not.
I'm just gonna say right out, if it's not gonna be Borderlands, then I don't think we're gonna see anything this year from them, unless if it might be like a random like smaller game.
Well, they're having some kind of presentation, so
Right. And
they're announcing something. Oh, that's right. They're making a new Homeworld. Is that right?
Homeworld.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe we see Homeworld 3.
Okay, that makes some more sense because it's been a while,
Uh,
hasn't it?
yeah. They still own Duke Nukem.
Yeah, but they just barely put
Uh,
out the Duke Nukem a couple of years ago, and the I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't see
know.
them
I
moving on
actually
that.
think it would be, I think it'd be interesting to see another Brothers in Arms from them because that series hasn't been touched in such a long time,
Is that a tactics game or
and
shooter? I don't
it's a
even know.
shooter.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
But it's like a squad shooter, right? So you're like commanding your dudes around at the same time.
I'd
Yeah,
be
it was kind of in
interested
that
in.
era of like SOCOM, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'd be interested in seeing like a co-op squad game, almost like Gears esque, but from a different company.
Yeah. But who knows? They could also, because they're getting into like the publishing front, we could see some just surprises, games that they picked up to publish.
That's more than likely the
Yeah.
situation. Then, now that you bring that up,
Okay, let's move on to Microsoft and Bethesda,
the big boys.
two of the big boys, which are now, I don't know, the where I like grab these from. Uh, yeah, so like Bethesda is just part of Xbox's showcase now
Yep.
because they are owned by Xbox. So that's what you do. Um,
Hopefully, Microsoft will be able to throw the money at them for them to start revving up like game output. That'd be really cool.
well, yeah, and I don't know, it's kind of an interesting thing of can you just throw money at thing to make development go faster? And like that's
You
not always
can, but it
necessarily the
won't
case.
necessarily make it great.
Yeah.
um,
But with Microsoft, right, the big one is Halo.
yeah,
Are we gonna see Halo again?
or another
And is it
catastrophe.
is it gonna look good, right? Because this is like a make or break game
It is
for the Xbox at this point.
definitely.
Um,
And what we saw last time was worse than Halo 3 graphics and gameplay. So
yeah, it
why are
just
we
was
seeing
like,
this? I legit thought I was watching a flashback video from like 2014 or 13 or even earlier than that. Like I was shocked at how bad it was. And I'm not trying to bash anybody. I know there's a lot of people that put a lot of hard work into it, but it's like look at Call of Duty and how far it's come since that time period. And then you look at Halo and that gameplay. I was like, no. So we'll see. Hopefully they do better with it, and hopefully it's something that can get me excited because I loved Halo. It's a fantastic series, but it's been dead to my radar for a while.
in other Microsoft Bethesda news, I guess. I don't know where I was going with that transition. Starfield. Do you think we're gonna see any gameplay for Starfield? That was
I don't even
I
know
can't
really
remember.
what
I'm
technically
I'm
would
like
be.
I'm bad with keeping track of like what year things get shown and stuff.
I think that was
So I
like
want to say
two
last year.
years ago,
Was it
maybe.
2 years ago? It was like 2 years because it was shown at the same time that they announced uh Elder Scrolls 6,
Right.
right? But like
Definitely
that, they were very clear at the time about that being like
way far out.
super far away.
Um, I really don't even know what it is technically. I don't think anyone does, or if they do, there's speculation. I want to stay because the nature of Bethesda space shooter, but is it gonna be?
I mean, it's probably just going to be like Fallout in space, right? Or
Yeah,
like the Elder Scrolls in space.
yeah. I mean, and I wonder how they're gonna do like the transportation. Are you gonna be flying through everything? Are we gonna fall into another No Man's Sky area? I think it will be really cool for the like Star Trekky people. That'd be really awesome. I don't like space too much, so it's probably not gonna call my name, but I'm glad to see that they're kind of like exploring more.
Yeah, as like a fan of Bethesda games, one in space is not one that I think that I need. You know what I mean? Like this is just me personally, but like I thinking about like what you need, the kind of like trappings of a science fiction space universe, like fictional world. There's a lot of things to mess up there. And I think there's a lot of risk here with Starfield, whereas like I would have just rather them went straight to a new Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Right.
think they just it's a new IP. It's a new just risk to take. I pray for the best for them. I'm not partaking. I have been kind of craving a good like action RPG open world type thing. So I'm kind of looking forward to the next Elder Scrolls. I tried going back and playing 3 and it's just too outdated for me. I do unfortunately
Went back and tried
suffer
to play
from
Morrowind,
not Morrowind. Sorry. Skyrim.
Oblivion. Oh, Skyrim. That's not 3, that's 5.
5, whatever one it was. It felt old to me and I
Well, I
unfortunately
mean, it
do
is a
suffer.
decade old.
Yeah, I do suffer from the I need to play something relatively new unless if the game does not rely whatsoever on looks, and that game unfortunately to me does. So I don't know about Starfield, but definitely looking at Elder Scrolls 6 whenever that gets announced and or something is said about it. Especially because I've been getting more and more into D&D with friends lately, so I need something
Yeah.
character creation
I mean,
wise.
you there's a lot of stuff that you can run for Skyrim that will make it look a lot better
Yeah, but
if you
I'm
just like put the time into running mods and
lazy.
stuff. It's not really that hard. It's
Oh.
pretty easy to just download an ENB and
You don't understand.
yeah.
I want the game just to do it for me. So I might just wait. But
Well, you're
pause.
gonna be waiting a long time because you're not getting a new Elder Scrolls probably until like 2028.
That's fine. Hopefully by that point I won't care anymore. uh
Okay. Let's go ahead and move on.
to the most exciting thing ever.
Square Enix presents
Oh,
whatever they're presenting. Um, I know that you're a fan of the Life is Strange series.
eh. I was. Um no. I don't know.
No,
I
not
it looks
anymore.
no, I really do like the way that the new one looks. True Colors looks really compelling and interesting. Uh, but I don't know if I'm gonna play it. Those games depress me way too much. It's kind of the same thing as when the UK show Skins came over, and I was watching the UK version on Netflix, And every time I watched an episode of it, I got so depressed I like couldn't even fall asleep. So I unfortunately have the same syndrome with these games. I tried very hard though.
How much of Skins did you watch?
I watched 4 or 5 seasons
Okay.
from the UK, and it just destroyed me mentally for
So then when you got into
years.
like the sixth or the fifth season, that's where
I dropped
you
off.
were, yeah.
It was just too much for my brain to handle. People dying, just
That
horrid things happening.
that show gets progressively more depressing
Yeah,
season over season.
yeah. So this game falls in that same category for me to where like I need to be happy, and this game pulls me into a dark area I don't want to be in. But fantastic, compelling story. So anyone that does like this kind of stuff and you haven't touched Life is Strange yet, I highly, highly recommend it as long as you have the mental state to be able to handle it. But
Talk for a moment about Avengers.
oh god,
Do, I do you think that Avengers
no.
is at the point where like they're just gonna show like the last thing that they're working on, right? Which is the Wakanda um like expansion or whatever,
I don't think
and
there's a
then
way
the
to
game's
save
just
it.
gonna like be done.
Yeah, I don't think there's a way to save it. I really thoroughly think that when a game gets to the point that it's at now, not only that, but it's like superhero games for adults really aren't a thing either. Like this is more geared towards kids. I've never played a superhero game with the intention of playing it for months and or years. It's kind of like this is cool. Like try Iron Man, try Spider-Man. Oh, they're super fun. Whatever, and then you move on. You do not invest time into a superhero game. Not usually. I know that there's diehards, and good for you guys. I appreciate that, but I don't know too many people that do. So I think it's on its last leg, and it's probably going to be out within the year.
Yeah, I think the game was probably ill-conceived from conception, right?
Oh yeah,
Like just the especially when you have such a clear template in Sony Spider-Man of like how to do one of these superhero games.
oh, Spider-Man is the gold standard for any superhero game. If you aren't following that format, then you're not. You don't even have the people completing the game.
I mean, I'm not necessarily sure that's the case because I think that you could probably make a case for a more linear mission-based superhero game where you're maybe like jumping from hero to hero if you have to do like an ensemble cast. But just the way that they tried to do it of like being a loot game at the same time, I think was just like a mistake from the start.
Yeah, and let me argue my own case here in a second. I think Batman is also a very good gold standard on the DC side.
Yeah, those Batman games are good too.
Very
The
strong.
the the newest one had a little bit too much Batmobile action in it,
A
but
little bit too much Batmobile going through the map, you mean? But yes.
uh,
Or was that the game
yeah,
before?
I think
I
that might have been the game before.
game before there
No,
was
them. I think that was Night because Night had all the bugs when it came out on PC.
yeah,
I
and I'm still
think.
harping on that. I know they fixed it, but
Yeah.
I'm disappointed. But yes, so those are the standards. I don't think that this met anywhere near those standards. I think it's dead in the next year. It's probably already it's kind of like, oh, we revived the community. It's like this is a year-old game and it already has a community size of something that's been out for 4. No.
And then of course we're probably gonna see more Final Fantasy.
I'm fine with this.
Uh, I don't know if we're gonna. We might see gameplay for Final Fantasy 16, but I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah,
Um,
it's kind of up in the air.
there's also rumors that the uh, was it Koei Tecmo Team Ninja, the studio. Is that the right team? I can't remember.
Oh
But the
god, don't
team
ask
behind
me.
Neo,
Uh-huh.
the video game, the Souls like, that is Koei Tecmo. Yeah, Team Ninja. Apparently there's rumors that they're working on a Souls like Final Fantasy game
Okay.
set in the universe of Final Fantasy 1.
Okay. I could get on board with that. That sounds very cool.
So I think that could be really neat, especially if they made it a little bit more accessible, just like easier and more accessible, something closer to like the Star Wars um Fallen Order. Is that what the
no,
games have too many like subtitles and like names and stuff on them nowadays,
yeah,
and
Fallen
I can
Order
never
is the
keep
one
track of
that's
what's
like
what.
open-ish.
Isn't it like
movie,
Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order?
right? Colon, this is the game for you. Colon, yeah, exactly.
But
I'm pretty sure you're right.
anyway, that might be neat. But who knows? That might not even be real. So we'll just have to see when
Let it pan
Square
out.
Enix does their presentation.
Right.
We're gonna move on now to Capcom.
This is yours.
All
yours.
I want. Hopefully, there's a Monster Hunter World 2, but it may be a little too early for that.
I think it's.
I don't really know.
Much of a cash cow. The first one.
Yeah.
They need to see
Well,
more.
I don't know. They're at the point they might want to give the newest one that came out on Switch a little bit more breathing room.
Yeah.
I could see that, but I think that we're at the point with Monster Hunter World where anybody who was like into it has gotten into it and has played through it and have like moved on. And I don't really know if they're getting like new people.
It's
so
4 years old, right?
I think so, something like that. Yeah, I think the base game came out in like 2017. The expansion might have come out in like 2019.
So yeah, announce it now and get the game out in the next year. That would be their best. There's a lot of breathing room and rehypes everything for a year.
There's other stuff. I doubt we're gonna see new Resident Evil, maybe Resident Evil DLC, like 8 DLC, but even that, I'm not really sure. Maybe Street Fighter 6, since that's been rumored for a long time. I don't know. I don't really know about with Capcom because I think Capcom has a lot of room to surprise us.
They're always wild card.
Maybe new Dead Rising.
Yeah.
Maybe a new Ace Attorney.
House of the Dead.
Maybe they resurrect Mega Man. I would love a new Battle Network game.
I would love that too, but I doubt it. I mean, unless they just go fuck it and go for whatever ends up happening with Mega Man, but I think there's still a lot of like skeletons in the closet regarding it.
Yeah, I don't think the kids know about the Battle Network nowadays.
Yeah, I don't think that ever is gonna have as much pull as we want it to. I'd be all about it.
It's such a good iteration of Mega Man, though.
A mobile Battle Network would be really cool.
Oh, dude, a mobile Battle Network where you had your own net navy? Bro, let's go. All right, we're gonna move on to Take-Two. We're probably not gonna see GTA 6. No. We have it on here, but like, with the GTA franchise at this point, I don't think we're gonna see a new game, and more likely we'll just see expansions to the GTA Online map. Yeah. Right, just like add maps to GTA Online, because why would you spend time building a new game?
I'm not a fan of it, but it works, and they're making a shit ton of money off of it, and it's still on top on Twitch, and people are still spending shit tons of money on play money in the game. So why break something, right? Yeah. I don't expect it either.
It's unfortunate because I have been playing quite a bit of GTA recently, and I don't know. It just, I wish that the world felt a little bit more. And it's weird to say this about GTA, right? Like the most realistic simulation of a Southern Californian city ever depicted. But at the same time, it's like, why can't I go into restaurants and eat food?
Yeah.
But that was in like previous GTA titles and you took it out, right? And it's just like little things like that. And like the police AI is really simplistic, and like I really wish that they just behaved more like real life police officers. You know what I mean? And it's stuff like that where I really think that And I want to say that I don't remember who exactly gave the interview, but somebody at Rockstar was talking about their kind of like difficulty with concepting the next GTA. Um, Basically the gist of it being that like the world is already such a parody of itself that how are you supposed to parody it? But really what I want out of the next GTA is
That
kind of
sounds like
more
an
what
excuse.
yeah. I want to see kind of more what they did with Red Dead, where they go down that like realism and like immersion aspects of the game and really try to build out, like focus much more on the simulation of the overall game world than just making a game world, making it believable enough, and then packing it with activities to do.
Yeah, I think at this point they don't give a shit because honestly, what are the people
Yeah, who
using
cares?
GTA? Excuse me, using GTA 5 for? Driving around and shooting at each other and griefing. That's what the game's come to. At least when I played it, and I hated it. I hate that community. I don't hate you guys
Yeah.
specifically. I hate the way that the community acts though on there, especially to new people. Like if you're
Well, and
established, cool, but if not, then
it
it's like irritating.
it's funny how like you have the dichotomy of the player base, right? Where it's like I think the majority of where they're making their money on GTA 5 is from like those types of players, right? The
Yep.
trolls, the kids that want to get all the like expensive, cheap stuff that they can just kill other players with,
Yep.
right? And then there's like this huge swath of other players who just want to interact with the game world and like live, like play in this like simulation sandbox. And it's actually a huge point of contention right now with the Red Dead franchise because unlike GTA, there's no way to go into a private online session in Red Dead.
Yeah.
And with how Red Dead has recently gone like very cheap to get the online, I think it's like $5 to just get the online mode. It's just riddled with kids running around throwing dynamite and just like and basically making the game unplayable.
Right.
It's effectively ruined online for anybody other than the type of player who wants to stand around and throw grenades at other groups of players.
Yeah.
And it's just
It gets toxic.
it's this weird like disconnect from it even feels like disconnect from the intention of the game, right? Like Red Dead feels like there's so much care put into the simulation aspects, and they really want players to get immersed in the life of a outlaw or gunslinger or hunter out on the range. And you can't do that when anytime you go into town to try to sell your animal skins, you get attacked by a posse of people wearing pink, wearing or throwing dynamite.
Yeah.
Like,
It's just
you
like it's
know,
sad. I've never even played it, and I know exactly what you're talking about. It's just that type of person, but it's infuriating.
and it's weird because you end up in a case where like the only people left playing the game are
Are
those
those people,
players.
and then they
So
even
like that must be the player base,
yeah,
right?
and
Like
then they even
metric
ruin it
wise,
for each
that's,
other.
you know,
Well, I don't know.
and whatever. I
Hopefully
wish
they rebuild
Rockstar
it.
would like get it
Yeah, but they don't
and
care.
it
It's
yeah, at least just like because now everybody and when you like if you go on to and watch any of the streams of people playing Red Dead, they're all like advocating using glitches and stuff to get into private lobbies, and like that's not a good look
no,
for your game,
no.
right? When you have like the people that are kind of like promoting your game, basically being like, you got to do these things to make this game fun. Otherwise, it's just a trash experience that nobody should engage with.
I think Rockstar's stance has always been just do what you have to, man. Shut the fuck up and stop complaining. That's always
Money,
been
money, 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 money.
yeah, that's always been their stance, and to a point, I respect that because it's like cool you have the voice in this industry to act like that because most people don't. But at the same time, it's
Hmm.
just like give a fucking shit about your player base, care a little bit about the gamers. But whatever. That sorry, I'm getting heated. Next.
There's apparently rumors that a Marvel based XCOM like is being developed by the team who develops XCOM.
Might be into
That
that.
sounds like a weird mix, but that could be interesting.
Yeah, like all the different powers put into that kind of spectrum of like tactical RPG.
Yeah.
That could be
And
fun.
like the potential like synergies between different characters' moves and stuff and having like team up moves and I could definitely see it working. It's kind of like one of those things where you wouldn't think about it until somebody brought it up and then you're like, "Oh yeah, I guess that totally would
That
work
makes
as a game."
sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
I could do that.
Um we're gonna move away from Take-Two onto Bandai Namco. We're starting to close out here. We only got two more presentations. The only thing that I really care about at Bandai Namco is Elden Ring gonna be there. Like, it's been years
Well, and you said it's
since
probably
they
going to even
announced it.
be said beforehand
Well,
whether they're
that's the rumor. There's like rumors that it's gonna be at Summer Game Fest, but if Bandai Namco's having their own thing, then I would expect it to be there.
right. You never know. They might
But
throw a little
yeah,
something
who
at
knows?
both.
Um, but yeah, it's about time that we see that game. Although it's in an interesting spot now because we've had the Blue Point remaster of Demon Souls, and I have a feeling that Elden Ring, because it was developed primarily for the, at this point, last generation of consoles, I have a feeling it's not going to be as visually um, striking as Demon Souls was. But just like the prospect of having a new game developed by FromSoft and Miyazaki and his team is enough to get excited, even if it doesn't necessarily look as pretty as some of the other offerings that you can get right now on the PlayStation 5. That's all I got to say about that. We'll go ahead and move on to Nintendo, which is kind of a big one. Just a little bit. Do you think we're going to see Breath of the Wild 2? Actually, let's start here. Do you think there's going to be a Switch Pro?
Uh, possibly. That's all speculation, though. I feel like there's an open market for it finally, but I think they need
I
a
think
new
we're
console.
yeah, I think we're definitely going to get a Switch Pro. It's just a matter of when, because of the constraints of manufacturing and such right now. The other element that's kind of interesting when it comes to that is, are they going to make games that are Switch Pro exclusive? Right? They've done it before with the new Nintendo 3DS. And that, I think that would suck, right? Because then it's just like
All your
new
old
games. You
shit's
got to
gone.
all
Yeah,
like you got to buy a brand new console if you want Breath of the Wild 2. I think that alone would be frustrating for a lot of people, right?
for sure.
Um, so I kind of don't see them, and I really hope that they don't do that, right? Even if to some extent it makes it so that, games on the Switch can't be as ambitious. I would rather they maintain parity between the two consoles.
Do you think that
Um,
they'll eventually release a new console though? Because like I feel like the Switch is
like a
aging.
new.
Yeah,
Um,
because the Switch is aging.
I mean, probably, yeah, but I don't know. I don't know how old is the Switch. I guess it's like 4 years old at this point, huh? We'll have to see about that. But I hope there's Breath of the Wild 2 there.
I think it's
But
only
I,
been
I
like
wouldn't
4
I
years.
wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't. We got a list of a few things here. I don't think we're gonna see Bayonetta 3 here.
I want it. I hope we do, but I agree. They are very weird with Bayonetta. They'll tell you a few months beforehand. That's how they are with Bayonetta. And Platinum
Hmm.
had to get a lot of money in order to get 2 out. So I don't see them concentrating on 3.
Yeah. Mainly I really want Nintendo to like surprise us with something. Like I would like to be surprised with
A new IP.
like a like a no, but like just like a new take or like a lot of people have been talking about the potential for there are rumors going around about a 3D um, Donkey Kong game
Ooh.
being made by the Mario Odyssey team.
If it doesn't have the Donkey Kong rap, I won't be happy.
Oh, right. It's got to have the DK rap.
Yep, it's a staple now.
So like something like that, right? Where you take something or you like bring something back that they haven't done in a while, right? Maybe a new F-Zero. That'd
Yeah,
be neat.
I saw a couple things about that. That would be really cool. A lot of the Dead series, Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah. Well, Metroid Prime 4 has been announced. It's just one of those things where,
When?
right, when's it going to come out? So, right. And the rumors about that is that they had to like restart development at some point. So who knows? But I think Nintendo's is maybe one of the more exciting of the
It always
events.
is. I just feel like they always have such a huge list of possibilities that makes it very exciting. It's kind of like a cliffhanger that was left at the end of a story. Like, oh, what will it be? So, I agree. They just I think they need a new cool IP though, in my opinion, because like, one that we have here, Splatoon 3, as a possibility. That was a really cool and innovative game when it came out. I want to see something like that. I want to see a new.
They already announced Splatoon 3.
Oh, they did for sure. Okay, that I missed.
Yeah, you didn't see that? Yeah, that was a Nintendo Direct a few months ago.
Okay, so but are we? We'll probably get more on that. But
We'll probably get gameplay for that. Yeah.
But my point is like that was a new and innovative IP that they released. I want to see another one of those. I want to see something different. I want to see new IP and new series. That's just how I am, and I think Nintendo has the potential for it right now because there is a huge like it's been a while since they released some big new idea. They are definitely doing stuff that they've done for a while now. So,
All right. And now let's close out with two kind of floaters, if you will. New Call of Duty. New Call of Duty is definitely going to be there. It's more of a case of like, where's it going to be? Oh, I just realized Sony's not having a thing. That's right. Sony's not part of E3. Yeah, Sony usually doesn't. They usually have like their own thing separate.
State of Play or
they
whatever.
have been for a couple years. Yeah. So yeah, that's why they're not on this list.
Just so everyone knows. Yeah.
So new COD's probably going to be at the Microsoft presser, I would expect.
If they do it the same way that they did it last year with Black Ops, they'll say something, but we're not gonna get solid details till August because that's the cycle that it seems like they're trying to go with now because Warzone.
I felt like that was only the case with Black Ops because it was so behind in development.
I think this is probably just as bad off, if not worse, because Sledgehammer, at least from what I'm hearing, is struggling. And see, once again, Treyarch's having to come in and save their ass because they're asking them to work on the zombies mode. So, I don't know. I feel bad for Treyarch. I gave them so much shit in the past, but like they've worked on 3 games in the past 3 years. So, lot of credit to them. I give so much more credit to them in their innovations, and I recently just played the zombies mode in Black Ops, and I'm a big fan. I don't know. I'm much more neutral with them than I was before, but I definitely see 2021. I don't think it's going to be a great game. I'm not hopeful, but I want to be, and I'm scared of what's going to happen with Warzone too, as a pretty avid player.
Yeah, like honestly, the situation right now with Call of Duty is such a shit show with Warzone, with their need at Activision to have their cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
Where it's like we have to have a games as a service. Call of Duty has to be a games as a service. But also we're gonna release a $60 product every year.
Yeah. Focus.
And it's like they just don't like those concepts don't mesh together.
No.
And I think, and like honestly, I'm expecting that they're just gonna burn Warzone into the ground as they try to as they constantly try to integrate the new Call of Duties into Warzone.
I
It's just
mean,
gonna end up being, I mean, it's already a fucking mess,
yeah, what are you gonna do?
and
Verdansk
it's just gonna get
1940?
worse,
Like, come
right?
on.
How do you introduce, like, are you gonna introduce a bunch of World War II weapons? Like, what?
I don't know.
It's just,
We'll dedicate a whole segment to that conversation when we get more information. It's infuriating as a player because I haven't even played Warzone in 2 weeks now because I'm just so put off by it right now.
I haven't played Warzone in probably like 6 months.
Yeah, there's some issues. I still love it. It's just I don't know. We got to see what they take for the next turn.
Battlefield 5 though,
6.
that's a game. No, Battlefield 5. I'm out here in the jungles of the South Pacific.
You actually playing it recently?
Oh, I played tons of Battlefield 5.
I might have to join you on that. But yeah, Battlefield 5 was good. I'm sad that they stopped the support for it, but I'm excited for 6.
Yeah,
sure.
so Battlefield 6, they've been gearing up. This is another one of those things where it's gonna get announced before E3, but um we might see gameplay at E3 maybe during like Microsoft's thing. EA has their own thing that's like a pretty significant amount of time after E3 proper.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so EA has a thing on July 22nd. So that's like
Jesus.
a whole like month and a half out from E3. And we'll probably see like more substantial Battlefield gameplay there. But yeah, Battlefield 6, I don't know. Battlefield 5 is really good. I think there's some things in Battlefield 5 that they could tweak going into Battlefield 6. But I don't know. I'm just excited for a new Battlefield game that is also like in a modern setting.
Yeah, we need to go back to 3 because I enjoyed Battlefield 3 a lot, and I think was it 3 or 4? 4. Am I thinking of the wrong one? Whatever one was the most was modern prior. Played a decent amount of that. I'm not a huge Battle fanboy, but I'm slowly becoming more of one with enjoying realism a little bit more and less arcadey feel of games. I'm probably one of the minority, but I definitely would love to see a Battlefield. Brain is shit in the bed right now. Another Battlefield attempt at fire team. Because
Battle Royale.
Yeah, Battle Royale. Because I thought it was really cool, the idea, but they cut support on it so quickly. I know they're trying not to overstep their boundaries into Apex region because they want that to be their big BR. But come on, just give it a try. I love BRs, and I think that it'd be super fun to have a good Battlefield BR. And just watching gameplay made it super cool.
I personally don't think that they should do a Battle Royale because I think that Call of Duty has that market so cornered that there's absolutely no way for them to make any substantial market penetration. And I think that really what Battlefield needs to do is I think that they should adopt the like Tarkov style gameplay of like raiding and looting and having like a storage and I don't know if you're familiar with Tarkov at all.
Yeah, I know a
but
little bit about it.
Because right now there's like no AAA Tarkov on the market, Tarkov like on the market, right? There's a few games that have kind of delved into it, right? You got Vigor from Bohemia, but that game's real jank and it feels very much like a janky free to play game. And I think that if Battlefield came out and was like, here is a new way of it's kind of like a battle royale. It's like a take on the battle royale, but it's a little different, right? Because it's A, you're keeping what you leave with, and B, you're losing what you go in with, so stakes are kind of higher. or potentially lower, depending on, the way that you want to play the raid out. But yeah, I think just the main thing is that they need to do something different from Call of Duty. And I think that the like Tarkov-like gameplay, for lack of a better description for it, is something that a lot of AAA gamers would like to play, but they don't even know that it exists, right? Because like Tarkov is this, not to say that Tarkov doesn't have thousands of people watching it, because it does. You can go look at the Twitch numbers, but still it's kind of a niche game. It's relegated to only one platform, being the PC. You can't even get it on Steam. You can only get it through the developer's website or the publisher's website or something like that. So it's really not accessible for most players. And I really think that EA and DICE could do it right and break into that market in the AAA space. That way they would be doing something different from Call of Duty.
I can agree with you on that. As far as doing something different and maybe even combining elements. My issue is they have such a strong, like, it was good. It was so good, and if they had leaned into it more, it would have been fantastic. My argument is Call of Duty is in such a weakened state with the Warzone right now. They are a target. They could, and who better to take them out than their main competitor? And it's like, I don't want that to happen. I love Warzone, but at the same time, you need someone to kick Activision in the ass and tell them, wake the fuck up and do your game right. Invest in your shit correctly. Raven is out there struggling as a tiny ass team trying to keep it up. And yes, Infinity Ward's still involved with Warzone to an extent, but they're focused on Modern Warfare 2. Like, let them work on Modern Warfare, but let's start working your teams together to make a fantastic BR. If that was the case and that's how they were doing it this year, then I would agree with you 100%. Yes, don't even try to touch their shit because it's impenetrable. But there are so many people that are fed up with Warzone. They're fed up with the bullshit that's happening. Raven's done a fantastic job at doing better with weapon balancing. They're on it now. Second, something becomes a problem, they're fixing it. The issue is that map is stale. They were waiting for a different map, and all they did is remodel Verdansk. Like, it didn't bother me too much at first, but the more that I play it, the more I'm sitting there going, wow, this is all they could do. So, and I bet you anything, it wasn't Treyarch's vision, because we know Treyarch probably would have went more towards a Blackout 2. This was Activision's vision. Why fix something that's not broken? And that's always been their approach. So I want Battlefield to step up and try to break it, because then that may force this other giant to do something. But that's my stance on it. I'm excited for Battlefield 6. Super stoked for it, just for the multiplayer in general, because I'm excited to play with modern weapons again in a destructive environment like that.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely super excited for Battlefield 6 as well.
You'll catch us on that for sure.
Yeah. But I think that's going to do it for us here on the Phat Peeps podcast. I want to thank everybody for listening, if you've gotten this deep into it. And we'll be back next week, probably talking a little bit about what was discussed or announced that day, because that's going to be like mid E3.
And we'll have the Battlefield 6 release stuff.
Yeah. So we can probably talk about Battlefield, the actual Battlefield announcement. So, all right. Well, thanks everybody again, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye, everybody.